guys, welcome back to my channel, Nikki Read That. I'm here with my best friend Shelby from her Instagram, Shelby's Shelf, and we're here to talk about our September reads. So we are going to kind of go tandem here. So I'm going to start by talking about Peter Pan, and this is by J.M. Barrie, and I love this version because this is the original. I have seen the movies quite a few times and I enjoyed them, and so reading it was really fun. It's illustrated and it has so many fun elements in there, like maps and little things that you can interact with. And this one, I believe I gave 5 stars. Oh, I gave 4 stars. I think it was just hard for me to get into. Since watching the movie, I've seen this part. Yeah. I've read this part. I know what this is. I know what's gonna happen. But I really loved the interactive elements and I thought that was really fun. Next one I read, The Perfect Wife by Blake Pierce. Have you read this?
Nope.
I think you should borrow it. I didn't either. I got it as a gift from Carrie Nunn. Shout out to Carrie. I honestly don't even remember what happened in it. That just is perfect. I didn't even say anything about it. I said a short thriller that threw some predictable curves but ended with a bang. I'm going to need the second book from the series.
Well, you liked it.
I liked it, and I think it was predictable in some aspects of wife-man thriller thing. The unpredictability of what is the man doing? Is the woman supporting that? Like, yeah. It was weird. But then there was some twists in the end that I wasn't expecting, and so it kind of redeemed itself. And I rated that one 3 stars. It was just middle of the road for me.
I don't read as much as she does, or not as much, I just can't read as fast as she does. So the first one was on my Kindle. It was Beast Within by Serena Valentino. It's part of the Disney Villain series. So again, it's about the Beast, and it's about his side of the Beauty and the Beast story that we all know from Disney. But they painted him as the villain, and so I only rated it 3 stars, which means I liked it. I didn't dislike it. There were some aspects that I felt weren't the best, because I feel Gaston is more of the villain.
And do you think that was because you grew up watching the movie that you just couldn't?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, you can't. I don't really view. It was cool to know the story from Beast's perspective, or the prince, I guess. But yeah, it wasn't bad. I would still recommend reading it. I'm still gonna finish the series. 3 stars.
The next one I read is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. And to be completely honest, until I looked at my Goodreads shelf, I forgot I read this book. I did give it 3 stars. I have read Fault in Our Stars by John Green, but I believe this is the only other book I've read by him. I can't remember her name. Aza. And she has, it doesn't say exactly what kind of mental ailment she has. I believe it's just severe anxiety. I think she's also OCD. She just obsesses over certain things. I believe this is based off of some of, like, John Green has some mental OCD. Tendencies. I believe so. I can't confirm that, but I dog-eared it, so come at me. It doesn't matter, whatever. And it was mainly because I really felt that some of the representation of her anxiety really...
Same girl.
Yeah. It's essentially a mystery mixed in. It's about this girl and her friend that were friends with this boy growing up, and they kind of like parted ways. And the boy's father goes missing. And so there's a reward for finding him or finding information about him. And there's a lizard in here, and it's called a tartua, I think. And the dad, I guess, is giving his entire inheritance to this lizard. And so there's a mystery of trying to find out where he is. There's the mystery of like, okay, well, if he is missing, like what happened to him, where is he? And then her mental struggles of her anxiety and I believe OCD. And so it was 3 stars. Middle of the road again. The next one I read is 5 Feet Apart by Rachel Lippincott and Mickey Daughtry and Tobias Iaconis. And this one, I saw the movie while I was on a plane and I bawled my eyes out, and everybody was like freaking out that like something seriously bad happened to a family member of mine, and it was not true. It was the movie, and the movie was so good, and so I have always wanted to try out the book to see what's different, and this followed the movie pretty closely. I actually gave this to her to read, so this now belongs to her. Yeah, I think I rated it 4 stars. It gave me a lot of Fault in Our Stars vibes, but seeing the movie really helped me like connect to the characters differently, I think. If I hadn't seen the movie, I don't feel like I would have gotten so attached to the characters, but I thought that this was a really solid read too. I gave it 4 stars. I think I finished it in a day.
Well, it's shorter.
It is shorter. I really enjoyed that one too, and I think you'll like it.
So the second one I read was We Are the Goldens by Dana Reinhardt. I think this was a Dollar Tree pickup, so I guess I should have expected. I'm gonna straight up say I rated it 2 stars, which means I did not like it. 1 star being absolutely hated it, I wasted my time. I didn't fully waste my time, but I did not like it. It's about these these two sisters, and
I'm excited to hear how you're gonna describe
I don't even know. It's about these two sisters, and it's about their relationship. It's told from one of the sisters' perspectives. It's about their relationship and then their relationships outside of each other. And one of the relationships is not an okay relationship.
You could say it's forbidden, yeah.
It's a forbidden relationship.
And some people like that stuff.
I will say, warning, good. If you go look this up on Goodreads, it tells you automatically what the relationship is. So if you don't want to know what the relationship is, I would avoid the synopsis on Goodreads. But I highly doubt you all are going to be running to read this book. Again, it wasn't bad. It left you very open-ended, too open-ended, and this is a standalone, so it's not a series that continues. So yeah, I wish I needed a little bit more at the end. I mean, there's a cliffhanger, and then there's definitely leaving me with not enough, and I was left with not enough. So,
I hear that.
2 stars.
My next read is The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. And I finally read this book. I have been putting it off for a long time because I was worried about the hype. Like, I've heard so many great things about this book, and I was nervous that it was going to really let me down because the hating game let me down hard.
She in this book is too much.
I can't. Like, I was really worried because I've told you guys before that I am trying to figure out what I like tropes-wise in romances. There are some things I really like. I like the banter in The Honeymooners, but I hated the banter in the hating game. This started out as a hate to love, and I'm sure you guys all know what it's about. It's relatively new. It's about Olive and her twin sister, Amy. So they're twins, and Amy was got married, and the whole bridal party got sick, except for Ethan, the best man, and the brother of Amy's now husband, and Olive. Amy and her husband gave Ethan and Olive the honeymoon package that they won because it was non-refundable. They couldn't get any time. What? Really? And so they gave them the honeymoon package because it wasn't refundable. So Olive only had to pretend to be Amy to get this honeymoon. Like, she just had to be her twin sister and claim that she's Amy to not raise any eyebrows. And then since Ethan shares the same last name, he was able to go as just the last name husband. It didn't really matter who he was. And so they went thinking they're gonna have a great time in Hawaii, and then stuff happens to where, you know, there's a fake relationship happening. So there was a lot of tropes in here that I normally or have found that I didn't enjoy. But in here it was done right, and so I really liked it. I gave it 5 stars. It was amazing. I loved it. I even tabbed. I didn't dog ear. I tabbed. So because I wanted you to read it, and I knew you wouldn't want to read it if I dog eared it.
Okay, well, first of all, me and her, we Marco Polo
a lot.
And she Marco Polo'd me saying, I don't really know, I don't really think I like this book, I'm having a hard time. Literally not even 5 hours later, she's like, I'm obsessed with this book, I love it, it's the best. I'm like, I can't.
But I really did like it, and it turned out to be really good. There was some deeper stuff that happened in here too that I really enjoyed. I don't like in some romances how they deal with conflict.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes the conflict is ridiculous. I'm just like, why are we dealing with it like children? They dealt with it respectfully using communication, and I really appreciated that. So I gave this one 5 stars, and it was great.
Our buddy read. We buddy read every month. This month has been
crazy.
2, almost 3. So we started the Illuminae series.
No, you're fine. We started this at the beginning of the month, and we really liked it. Like, oh, I dog-eared this one too.
Oh no. I don't, for the record. You can like me more because I don't dog.
We'll have a different discussion about that if it really bothers anybody. But this book, this is our first...
That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Whoa.
This is our first sci-fi, isn't it? No,
Yeah.
you dabbled in it a little bit.
No, I don't usually like sci-fi. Before this, I tried the book about Blade Runner. I think it's called Do Androids Dream of Sheep? And I really want to watch the movies, and so I thought I'd read the book first. No.
She didn't like
I couldn't get into it
So
at all.
we were a little nervous.
I was hesitant
about this. We really enjoyed it. I don't know if you guys know what it's about, and it's kind of confusing to explain because in each book it changes different a little bit, ultimately getting to the same end result, but it kind of veers off to kind of introduce new characters and all that jazz. But it's mixed media. I don't know if you can see that. It's mixed media. All throughout, and that was a really cool experience.
Yeah,
I've never
different.
experienced anything like that. But they also have a really incredible audiobook that we paired with each time, and
with full cast,
sound effects. It's perfect. And I don't think we talked about this. We didn't think that we would be able to do one or the other. Like, we feel that they should be paired every single time reading this. You should pair it with the audiobook just because it's a full experience. And I really agree with that.
There's just so much in here. Like, there's like little snippets and like all these little codes and things, and to just read the book, I don't feel like I could have connected with the book without the audiobook, and vice versa. I don't think I would have been able to listen to the audiobook without reading the book, because you wouldn't be able to visualize all the different things that are in here. Like, there's maps in here, like blueprints of things in here related to the story. If you haven't read these yet, I think we highly recommend you read along with the audiobook, which it also helps it go faster.
It really does.
It's already a fast read, but yeah,
I just don't think I would have gotten everything out of it that I did if I wouldn't have paired the two. So yeah, going forward, if you're thinking about reading this, definitely try to get the audiobook for it along with it, because it's just heightens the experience by like 10.
It's about, there's two main characters, Katie and Ezra. They just broke up. They don't want to talk to each other.
Yeah, she never wants to see him again.
A major event happens and they're kind of forced to talk to each other and pair up to kind of save what's going on in their world. I would say there's, you know, their love relationship going on. There's zombie type things going on. They're trying to get to Heimdall, which is the safe zone transport carrier. So this takes place in outer space. I don't know if you guys know that. But there's Heimdall Rescue Point, which is like where some people already are. And so the people from their planet that went through the catastrophe, they're trying to meet up with these other people. And so there's like separation that happens there. Plus there's time restrictions here. There's fleets that are coming to attack. And then there's also the AI, the artificial intelligence, that you don't know what to think about him. You don't know if he's good or bad. And you just have to like figure it out along with everybody else as he starts changing. Mystery, but not. And there's twists and turns everywhere.
There's like twists on twists.
When you think you're like, oh, okay, like it's calming down now, I can like breathe again. No, it changes again.
Yeah, and each time it's
even
like more
what
dramatic.
We've told you, there's way more into it. So
yeah, so we highly recommend the Illuminae Files series
by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff.
The next one we read is Gemina, and this one we read
in a week.
Quick.
We just finished this one.
We just finished this one, and this one follows a couple of different people on
two new characters.
Yeah, on Heimdall.
On Heimdall, same world. It's just two new characters. When you think this one's going to be very similar to the other one, it's not. No. It's very different. I was hesitant with this one at the beginning because both books throw you in, and that's not something that's easy for me sometimes. And so this one threw me in. I was already confused because there's new characters.
That's what got me.
Slightly new storyline, but you're pretty much hooked in.
Yeah, and it all ends up coming together too. In certain circumstances, they're all working towards the same goal. And so you are introduced to new characters, but you also know about the previous characters that still play a role in this book too. It's not like you just completely forget about them.
Right.
Like they're mentioned and things like that. And so that kind of helps you kind of tie the two together. And this one had elements that I really enjoyed. I felt like some of the things in here that happened in Illuminae were similar, but then they made it different. There was a twist that happened in here that happened kind of in Illuminae, but they did the double twist differently, if that makes sense, right?
They added more to it to make it
made it different. There are some creepy creatures in here.
Yeah, whereas the first one, Illuminae, had zombies. This one kind of had alien creatures or something in them. So that's different.
Okay, my battery died. We're just rambling too long. So I don't remember what we were saying. We were just talking about aliens in this one, which is another difference I didn't expect.
Me neither.
So I thought it was super interesting. Yeah, this is probably the biggest surprise of the year for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew that I liked the mixed media element, but I didn't know that I'd enjoy it so much. Like, I was still very nervous about
Well, a lot of people said it was good, but
I was
didn't
nervous
know
about the
it was gonna be
sci-fi.
this good. Yeah, the sci-fi element.
I didn't think I'd be addicted. I thought that I'd read Illuminae and be like, okay, that was cool, and then be able to move on, and then maybe get to Gemina at another time, but I didn't realize I was going to do Illuminae, Gemina, and then want to jump right into Obsidio. I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
So, biggest surprise of 2020 right here, I think. I needed this in my 2020, I really did.
Yeah, same.
So that wraps up our wrap up. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for
I
having
appreciate
me.
you. And I guess I'll see you guys in our next video. My next video.
Yeah.
Spoiler, it has us in it. Alright, I'll see you guys in my next video.
Bye.
See ya!